because the first thing you see it's in dirhams, right? Now you calculate it. Now you're calculating in your mind how many pounds is that, right?
Yeah.
And then you're thinking like, okay, is this cheap, expensive compared to the UK, right? But you see that already, right? Before you've even eaten the meal, you're in a state of constant anxiety.
Yeah.
And now you're calculating, well, okay, I'm spending so much, he's spending so much, he's spending so much. Then how much are we spending on the drinks? How much is this bill going to be, right? So now I'm anxious about it, right? Well, guess what? Now I'm eating, right? Where's my focus on? Is the focus on the eating and enjoying the moment with my friends and my business partner and my family, my spouse? Or am I anxious about, well, why did this cost me?
Yeah.
Do you see that, right? Some also, on the other hand, we absolutely avoidant. We literally close. Most men do this, right? We put up a wall, right? So, well, I can't afford going to the restaurant, but my wife wants to go out, but I'm avoiding to speak about the money, right? So anyway, we go to the restaurant, and she's like, "Can I order this?" Well, I don't want to have a conversation about it. So what do I do?
Order it.
Yeah, just order it.
Yeah, just do it, love.
Right? Just do it, right? But then again, because I'm avoiding the hard conversation, the hard look at my life and my finances, right? Well, guess what? I do it once, twice, three, and so I haven't said to her that we can't afford it. So she thinks, well, you know what? Things are fine, right? So now, instead of saying, well, you know what? We can only go out once a month. We do it every week. Well, guess what? At the end of the month, I'm broke.
Yeah.
Then what do I do?
Yeah.
The next time we go out, I have to put it on my credit card. Before I know it, the average person in the US and the UK have, I think, up to 15,000 on average pounds of credit card debt. Yet, if you ask the average person in the US or the UK, would they have 400 pounds to be able to pay for an emergency? Guess what? You know what they tell you? No. And again, it does come to our ego, because my ego should be able to say to me, well, guess what? I can't afford this. I need to save.
Yeah. Well, it's
Right.
it's being aware of avoiding financial pitfalls. It's where do you fuck up? You know, me and you were talking about this yesterday, like the mindset of frugality, but coinciding with the mindset of abundance. So it's like both at the same time. So it's like I'm not going to be stupid with my money, but I also know there's a lot of it.
Yeah. We have a friend, right? Fucking brilliant guy. Own a manufacturing business, right? He came into the manufacturing business. Why? Because he'd gone to an Ivy League university, been on Wall Street, fucking smart, probably the smartest person we know when it comes to money.
Yeah.
Right? Goes into the business. The owner of the business was a technician. He knew how to run the business. What did our buddy say? Well, you know what? I don't fucking need him. I'm smart, right? How difficult can manufacturing be? Because I know everything, and he was smart. I even remember there's there's a intelligence test that us as psychologists use, right? 3 questions, right? PhD postgraduates at Princeton, right, in MIT, only get 1 out of the 3 questions correct, right? Oh, buddy, I gave it to him within 5 minutes. He answered all 3, right? Fucking smart. Well, but guess what, right? His ego said to him, well, you know what? I'm the smart guy. I have the MBA. I know all about finance. I was on Wall Street. I work for big companies, right? My fucking business partner, what the fuck does he know? He's an idiot. He's a shop boy. All he's done his entire life is worked on the floor, right? So guess what? His ego said to him, I don't need this guy. And even if I do need him in my business, we need to rearrange the equity split. Then guess what? In his mind, that business, and we've talked about it, right? That business could have double its revenue with the machinery they had. But what did he say? His ego said to him, well, no. I know from my MA classes we need to scale because everybody says scale, scale, and scale. My ego said, tell me to scale. So I need to go and buy another 4 million machine, right? Could they afford it? No, they couldn't. But what did the ego say? Well, you're not going to be successful until you have that 4 million machine. Yet the reality said, You could actually double or triple the business with the machinery you had,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So guess what? Do you see that? Because his ego got in the way of him making rational decisions,
Yeah.
right? And then when the shit hit the fan, COVID came along, the business dried up, the economy, Donald Trump became president. Trump said, well, we need to renegotiate the amount of wood products that Canadians are dumping to the US, right? Business fucking dried up.
Yeah.
And then where were you? And now your ego, because your ego was great when things were doing well. Well, guess what? When things will inevitably go wrong, right? The same ego that was great for you when things were right get in the way of you being able to actually face the truth of your reality. And the truth of the reality is, well, you know what? Things are shit. They're going to continue being shit. We can't operate the way we were, right? I can't change my perspective now because my ego won't allow me to. And so I can't pivot. I can't iterate. And we see this on Facebook. Everybody, a lot of gurus go on about this fact. Well, oh, look at everyone pivoting, right? But we know this from Silicon Valley that you have to. But why? Do you know why? Because I need to sell to coaches, right? And so I want to put myself differently. So I'll say, well, you know what? Everybody uses the word pivot and iterate. Well, I'm going to be anti that, right? Because my ego is saying to me, well, be a douche, right? Nobody's going to hire you unless you have your own concept, right? And so what do? We end up deceiving ourselves and we end up deceiving our clients about how they should react to shit financial situations. Like we know during COVID, right? How many coaches and whatever went broke? We did pretty well with the Awaken Men because we made sure that the business pivoted, right?
Yeah, and we didn't. Just going back to your example there with our friend on the 4 million spent on the machinery. I did this in my previous business. Didn't spend 4 million. I didn't have 4 million to spend. But this is another example of where my ego got in the way. We had like 5 new team members come and join our team really, really quickly. What do we need for all those team members? I needed new computers. They were architects, so I needed new iPads. They needed the stylus pens to go with it, and they needed the keyboards. Guess what I did initially? I bought fucking new. I went into Apple and I bought brand new stuff. It cost me thousands, and it was all cash. And I remember going, fucking hell, that was like a big chunk of cash that just came out of our bank. And we were making 30%, 40% like on a good job. So for us to make £10,000, right? I've got that's a big chunk of revenue. It's a big chunk of contracts I've got to get into our business to get £10,000 in profit in cash for me to go and then spend that on our team members. It was an ego thing. I was like, yeah, don't worry, guys. You get all new stuff when you come and work with us. It was a fucking ego thing. And I learned after that. Next time we had new people come in, I didn't buy them